to climate policies, where do you see divides between member states?
The greatest difficulties, I think, are about just transition, and common but shared responsibilities concerning climate change and fighting climate change. This is what I see as the biggest divide between East and West, or North and South.
And do you think the Conference for the Future of Europe can help in bridging these tensions or diverging interests?
Well, when talking about Hungary, it's quite difficult it's a difficult situation, because in Hungary the actual government has always the feeling that it has got to fight against something or someone. But the conference might help in understanding that fighting climate change is a global task, it's a global challenge, and that we all have our role and responsibilities in climate action. Yes, I think the conference can help in this.
What do you think are the biggest challenges in Hungary in terms of implementing, committing to the climate action agenda?
If I should say 3 difficult topics in the country, one would be the energy efficiency of buildings, because in Hungary almost 40% of greenhouse gas emissions are connected to the building sector. So if we manage to put enough funding in these policies, we can have quite quick and good results in greenhouse gas emission reduction. The thing is that in Hungary, basically all of the funding that comes from the EU to energy efficiency of buildings come at a national level, and it might be good to have funding that goes in at the regional or local level also, to make it even better working. So this is one topic that is difficult and important in Hungary. Another one that I would say is energy poverty. Like I think in all the countries in this region, energy poverty is a central issue in the poorest regions, but not only the poorest regions in Hungary. But what is a very big problem in the poorest regions is there are a lot of poor families that use materials for heating that should absolutely not be used for heating. And this is a problem for climate change or for air pollution too, and I don't think that this is dealt with correctly now. And it's also a question of just transition. And if I can say just a third one, it would be adaptation. Adaptation to extreme weather events, especially droughts and flash floods. In Hungary, it's I think the biggest issue. I think that more possibilities should be given to the regional and local level, which is not the case in the moment in Hungary. It's very centralized. And the relationship of the government to the climate topic is very interesting, because it was really not a central issue in the country until the 2019 climate movement. Then the government saw all these young potential voters on the streets protesting for climate justice, and they just realized that it was a topic that had to be put on the agenda.
And what about financing the transition? Is it a problem of funding, or is it a problem of actual will, commitment to the climate objectives?
Personally, I see a certain level of dissociation in the Hungarian government. From one side, we can see that Hungary has got a climate law in which we have climate neutrality as an objective for 2050. So this is very progressive. But when we look at concrete policies, we can really have the impression that the two levels do not talk to each other. In 2021, the government started a new grant for energy efficiency, for renovation of buildings, where there is absolutely no energy efficiency criteria. Nothing. In Hungary, I think almost everybody, every party and every people think that climate change is an issue and we have to do something about it. But as soon as we get to a level where there would be some discomfort connected to climate policies or some level of sacrifice would be needed, people are not really willing to make actually those structural changes that are needed. And I think this is why the EU is very important. I am personally an EU believer. I really think this is a good thing that we are a member state of the EU. And I think that common EU policies, binding regulations, and information communication are the things that can help us make the steps needed that would be otherwise postponed and postponed and postponed again.